The couple's massage he didn't cancel. The night Cedar room wrote 9:30. At 9:02 p.m., my phone buzzed with a text that arrived like a polite hand on the back of my neck. "Hi Jasper," it read, which is my partner's name, not mine. "Your couple's Cedar ritual begins at 9:30 p.m. in cabin 3. Robes provided. Please arrive 10 minutes early. Marrow Spa." It was tagged to the loyalty number we share because one time in a lobby we chose convenience over doubt. The link below the message pulsed with a map through the hotel, like the shortest route to a confession. I was in our kitchen pretending cinnamon was strategy. I'd left a dish warming because sweetness feels like a promise even when it is. The apartment had that careful quiet it wears when it knows a decision is walking down the hall. I put the phone face down the way we agree we should when we remember to behave. Then I turned it over again because I wanted to misbehave correctly and in order. The map offered a side entrance, a lift directly to the spa, and an invitation disguised as courtesy. Jasper had left at 8, in the jacket that flatters him even when mirrors are Christians about it. "Wrap toast," he'd said, 2 words that make celebration sound like a staff meeting. "Quick notes with Mateo. Don't wait." Mateo is sound design, beautiful in the way people are when hearing is their only religion. I remembered the time he pressed a mic against Jasper's throat and said, "Again," and how the room leaned closer because intimacy can be borrowed from verbs if you're not careful. The Marrow Hotel sits above a street that likes to pose. Brass learned restraint on the walls. The concierge's smile counted choices like tips and spent none of them in front of me. Down the carpeted ramp, the spa greeted me with a fragrance called Cedar Rain, forests edited for indoor use. The desk attendant said my partner's first name the way a receptionist learns it on purpose, then placed 2 robes on the counter with the confidence of someone who believed in couples as a category. "I'm meeting him there," I lied. The attendant nodded like the truth was an optional amenity. I carried the robes the way men carry options. A corridor led past quiet doors labeled with small wooden plaques, birch, stone, steam, and then Cedar 3. The handle was wrapped in soft leather, the same color as a good mistake. From inside came the low hum of a playlist built for undressing slowly and the private sound of water deciding to be a secret. I didn't knock. I'm not brave and I'm not a headline. I opened the door halfway and stood where the room could find me but the mirror couldn't. A treatment bed rested under a folded blanket, the way innocence lies down first and waits to be interrupted. On a low table sat 2 cups of water and a glass bottle with condensation clinging like a lazy veil. In the corner, 2 robes hung on a wooden peg, one empty and patient, one softened by familiarity. Mateo's laugh arrived first, a soft-edged note smoothed for professionals. Then Jasper's voice replied in a register he saves for rooms with dimmers. He stepped into view and stopped in the same motion, as if he had expected a different sentence to begin the next paragraph of his night. Mateo appeared behind him, shirt sleeves rolled, stillness already in place, the posture of a man who knows when to be furniture. Their bodies arranged themselves around the fact of me the way water reconsiders after a stone. "Liam," Jasper said, my name with a receipt softness. "The spa thinks I'm coming," I said. Humor is the leash I use to keep panic from fetching the wrong thing. It gave me a map and 2 robes. Mateo's mouth practiced neutral, he's good at it. He was already stepping back, already letting the room reduce him to a suggestion. "I'll go," he said. No promise, no apology, just simple tense. "Stay," I said. Both of them looked at me the way men do when the lighting changes and you pretend you didn't notice. I don't want to build theater. I want to hear truth in a place that was designed to make pretending easy. We ended up in the hallway outside the cabin, by a small glass door that opened onto a stringlit courtyard nobody else was using. The knight put a hand on my throat and didn't squeeze, just reminded me I had won. Cedar rode the air and pretended it was forgiveness. The three of us stood at distances that could be interpreted without saying anything cruel. Jasper held the robes like a man who had invented a problem and then hired props. I lied when I left, he said. No flourish, just noun and verb. Rap happened. People applied their best grammar to goodbyes. I told myself I needed 30 minutes in a room where my mouth could be listened to without being quoted. Which mouth? I asked. Not friendly, not a weapon, a door with hinges. His name is Mateo, he said. He hears what I turn down. Are you sleeping with him? The question is a cliff, and there isn't a scenic route. You count to one and choose gravity. Not yet, he said, clean, immediate, indecently honest. Then quieter, the confession that knows exactly which muscle to bruise. I brought my mouth. Mateo didn't apologize. He has the discipline not to. He had the decency to look like a man who understood rooms are not entitled to what they want. I watched Jasper watching me and felt the argument inside me stand up and straighten its tie. I wanted to be angry in a way that would feel like accomplishment. The body has its own priorities. You like the sort of wanting that proves something kindness can't, I said. I didn't make it cruel. Cruelty would have been lazy. You treat intimacy like a sport and honesty like off-season training. You like to coach, Jasper said. He smiled with one corner because he is beautiful when the situation doesn't deserve it, which is unfair and how we've survived this long. What do you want? I asked. Now, before the playlist convinces your hands to vote. He took one step closer. I could smell steam on his skin and the soap he uses when he's trying to be a better man than the room suggests. I want to come home, he said. I want you to want me there, where the towels we own remember us and desire isn't rented. And you, I asked Mateo, because dignity is a group project. What do you want that doesn't have my name hiding inside it? He met my eyes exactly the amount decency permits. To stop listening to things that aren't my business, he said. Then to Jasper, without looking away from me, you're louder with him. I nodded, because facts are a kind of mercy when you use them right. I turned back to Jasper and placed 2 fingers in the soft place at his wrist where men keep their apologies. His pulse answered like a door that recognized my knock. I didn't kiss him yet. I let the breath between us learn my name again. You don't get to be rescued by poetry, I said. You get my mouth or the door. Tonight I'm greedy, so choose. He chose with an exhale that had my name in it. The kiss wasn't hunger, not first. It was relief arriving with both hands open. Mateo stepped backward toward the courtyard, no drama, allowing the air to return us to 2. I used my palm at the small of Jasper's back to remind him his body, in its better hours, belongs to the version of himself who doesn't audition. He made that low sound he can't perform on cue. The knight heard us and pretended not to. I stopped before the room could pretend to be a witness. His mouth stayed close, breath warm with the steam of the life we were revising. Come home, I said. We'll do sentences in daylight. Right now I want to take you to our kitchen where guilt doesn't have housekeeping. He nodded into the space between us the way men do when they are leaving a scene with the right person. We returned the robes to the desk, and the attendant made no effort to know anything. On the way out, Mateo raised 2 fingers, not a wave, not a wound, just acknowledgement, and vanished into the part of the hotel that believes discretion can be learned. At home, the cinnamon had behaved far better than either of us. We ate the thing standing up because chairs felt like a ceremony we didn't qualify for yet. He watched my mouth the way some men watch a clock at the end of the day. I slid my hand under his shirt to the warm place where his back keeps its best arguments. He leaned into me with a gratefulness that should be measured, if anyone ever finds the instrument. We were careful in bed, not the kind that kills heat, the kind that knows what to do with it. He whispered my name with a new grammar and I let him. I know where his shoulder lives when it doesn't want to explain itself. He knows where to set his palm against my ribs so the rest of me remembers how to turn toward what matters. We didn't give the night any work to do. We borrowed heat and returned it thoughtfully. When we finally slept, it was with terms and conditions we intended to read again over coffee. Morning put a clean shirt on our choices. He made the coffee the way I like when he wants me to shut up. I opened the windows and let the day draft our names in and out of the room. He started with small truths because small truths can hold the big ones upright. The rap had run late. The rooftop had made the city feel manageable. The spa was a bad idea with good lighting. He spoke until he ran out of rehearsal and then said what I could keep. He said he is tired of being interesting for a living and wanted for a minute to be wanted the way kids are: stupid, earnest, improperly lit. He said he imagined my mouth in that room more than once and decided desire can be rehearsal without becoming a performance. He said he was sorry like a man who understands the word is a tool, not an eraser. I didn't forgive him there. Forgiveness is a daylight animal and morning's charge. I put my hand on his and named what we had done a partial payment. He nodded like a man who has looked at a ledger and refuses to cheat. We walked to the canal because the bench there has agreed to be impartial. Pigeons performed competence. The water lied about Paris and we let it. He kept his thumb hooked in my pocket like humility. I let him. Days later, I saw Mateo in a lobby that smelled like ambition and lemon. He gave me the nod men give when they have decided furniture is safer than evidence. He didn't apologize, and I didn't deputize. The elevator mirror wrote our names backward, and both of us knew how to read ourselves in either direction. Hotels still believe they know how to stage mercy. Emails still arrive too tidy to be useful. I don't trust either. I trust the smell of cinnamon and the way the apartment's light climbs the wall in the late afternoon. I trust how Jasper leans against our counter like a man who expects to be wanted where he lives. I trust my mouth, which has learned the grammar of not rescuing him and wanting him anyway. If the world ever texts me another code for a room where I'm not invited, I will do what I did that night. Choose the stairs over the elevator if I can. Choose kissing over theater when I should. Choose the door that opens from the inside, and walk him through it like the city owes us a simpler kind of weather.